Introducing xCredit LP staking from industry-leading RWA loan collateralization platform Credifi. Earn 10% cashback in USDT after 90 days, with more rewards coming soon for xCredit holders. Visit v2.credifi.finance today.
And welcome everyone, Jimmy here. I hope you guys are doing all well. A very exciting market. We had a monthly close. We saw a good pump and then a really strong pump. Let's inspect the market. Topic of today is mainly about Bitcoin and Bitcoin stealing the show. And I do have actually bad news for many of you. The bad news is altcoins are most likely going to suffer a little bit more. Let me share my screen right now and let's do an audio check. Can you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me, let me know. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. And also hit that like button. We are doing these live streams for you guys. So if you appreciate us as much as we appreciate you, hit that like button. Just opened a quick long on Bitcoin. We'll maybe explain my thesis just in a bit. It's just a scalp. Let's start first with the Bitcoin chart on this Bitcoin Liquid Index on the monthly. Nothing has changed. My overall long-term thesis, my high time frame thesis, hasn't changed at all. Who can see this Bitcoin Liquid Index chart? Nothing has changed. And I want to circle back to this because your high time frame thesis is not something you want to change every day, every week, or every weekend. There is, of course, a point of invalidation, but that point of invalidation doesn't happen very often. My thesis is still, we are in this 4-year cycle and things are still looking good. And I want to remind you and also remind myself that if we're doing cycle analysis, we want to measure the cycle low to the next cycle low. So you want to measure from cycle low to the cycle low to the cycle low to the cycle low. You want to connect them. What we normally can see is that the duration of each cycle has a time span of 1,430 days. 1,430 days to go from this low we had in 2015 to this low we had in 2018 to this low we had in 2020, where Bitcoin hit almost 15K. Based on this, my analysis, my time analysis tells me that we might see a next cycle low in 2025, October. And another thing I want to highlight is if we take into consideration all the halving events, often what we see is a consolidation phase of 160 up to 180 days before Bitcoin makes really that crazy move. We saw a consolidation phase here and up it went. And again, post halving is supposed to be very, very boring. If you don't have a technical edge to trade, the best thing is to just stay on the sidelines and not execute any trades. I know this is very boring. A lot of people are craving for that instant gratification. There are just a few who trade instant gratification for delayed gratification, and that's the reason why so many people they get wrecked. Because no strategy, no patience, no discipline, no plan. And trust me, this is the ideal recipe to get broke. This is the ideal recipe to not make money even in a bull cycle, in a bull market, because eventually we are actually in a bull market. So consolidation phase here, and now we are about 185 days uh, after the last Bitcoin halving event, which means a strong, decisive move is about to happen. We have seen like the glimpse of it last week and this week. Another key point is if you measure like the cycle low to the cycle high, that's not how you do the cycles. It's always from the low to the low to the low. But if you connect the low with the high, surprisingly, it takes Bitcoin about 1065 days, 35 months, 1065 days to go from the low to the high, from the cycle low to the next cycle high. From here to this was November 2020, November. This was the cycle low. This was the lowest point we have when it comes to price action to the next cycle low, and this will bring us to 2026, because that would equal a time span of 1430 days. I'm pretty sure not so many people are discussing this, or maybe some are. I've been sharing this with our Discord community for quite a long time, more than months. But I'm digressing a little bit. What I want to showcase is if we are aiming for the next cycle high, it might happen around October 2025. Of course, it could easily happen that we're going to see a cycle high later or earlier. We don't know. We're not trying to time the market, but it gives us some perspective where we are in this cycle. We are still quite early, believe it or not. The next thing I would love to highlight, and we're going to talk about altcoins as well, by the way. And I might not have really good news for those who are really heavy in altcoins. I do have really good news for those who are really heavy in Bitcoin. We had a beautiful monthly close, and I genuinely believe that the most important data point on every chart and every candle is the close, not the candle. Sorry, not the wick. Wick overall is just a lot of noise. Most of the decisions people are making when rebalancing, and a lot of oscillators also, they are all based on the candle close. In most of the situations, of course, there are also oscillators who are working with the high or the low, or the opening. My point I want to make here is October had the second highest candle close in Bitcoin's history, which is quite remarkable. Also, if we go to the 3-day chart, this candle here is the highest 3-day close ever in Bitcoin's history. What we're seeing now is just a new fresh month. This is day number 1. We might print a monthly low. This might take time, but my thesis overall is we're gonna see a continuation of these two candles, meaning to the upside. I shared my thesis quite a while ago here. Let me get rid of these oscillators and the volume profile. Let me go to the 4-hour chart. This was the October open. Every price action below the open is basically a wick. This was the November open. Every price action we have below the November open is a wick. There's a high likelihood that the wick of November is this. For me to be more convenient about this, I want to see multiple candle closes above the November open. In my previous Bitcoin report, I shared my thesis, and my thesis was this is no way a point where you want to look for longs. And looking for longs, this would be my first point of interest. If I see a solid price action, um, and signs of reversal on the lower time frames here in this greenish blue box. I'm not sure what is it actually, blue or green. I don't know actually. If I see a reversal pattern or a sign of strength kicking in here, I'm gonna open a long. So I opened already a long, closed it, recently opened a new long, and let's see how far we can go. But now I want to talk a little bit about the dominance because I really do not have really good news, to be honest. Uh, we have Goku. I love the name. Not sure if you guys know this, but I used to have this Goku avatar on Twitter. Koti, you know what, my friend? Later on, I'm gonna chart for you, Koti. I'm gonna share with you guys a few things, and I might gonna share with you things you have never seen in your life before. For this, I'm gonna remove myself from the screen. I'm gonna maximize the screen here. And what do you see, guys, here? What do you see? This is Bitcoin dominance. And I thought yesterday, let me analyze the Bitcoin dominance in relationship to the halving events we had. And I came to a quite funny observation. And this is actually the observation. After the halving event, only after 238 days before the dominance is declining, as we can see here. This was basically your bull market, your altcoin market, the altcoin rally. Here, the first part, and here was your altcoin rally back in, this was in 2017. This was 2018 a little bit, but mainly here, that was your altcoin rally. Some of you really remember this rally vividly, some of you not. I can assure you, those were really crazy times. Here, we can see something similar. After the halving, and by the way, this is kind of a strange period because of COVID. We had the COVID crash. Eventually, it led to a lot of money printing, which was for crypto or risk on assets in general. But also here, we see that after 238 days or 231 days, depends how you measure this, a beautiful altcoin rally for, oh wait, quite a while, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm doing something wrong here. Yeah, this is what I want to. Oh, I already know this. I'm not sure why it was white. For about 150 days. This was the drop. And this is something we would love to see, you and me, as altcoin traders, and also those who are holding altcoins. If we are applying the same thought process, adding 238 days after the most recent halving, we might see a drop in the Bitcoin dominance somewhere in December. Somewhere in December, or maybe even in Q1 of the next year. Which tells me that you do not want to fade this very strong uptrend. I see a lot of people sharing a rising wedge. Honestly, not gonna lie, the dominance, like the chart, is actually a meme chart, as in you cannot really trade this. It does give you insight. But listen, if even if this was a rising wedge and it goes to the upside, then this translates into a running wedge. It gives you a bearish thesis. You want to see that dominance going down, but it goes up. And if it goes up after a normally, when you trade something that you can actually trade, when it goes up, when a rising wedge um, breaks to the upside, then expect some more upside. This here is a better form of Bitcoin dominance, because this dominance does not include stables. What do you see here? What do you see here? I see a lot of strength. I do not see any kind of weakness here. This is strength. Buying now altcoins is buying weakness. Honestly, you do not want to buy weakness, you want to buy strength. I believe it's still too early for a real good altcoin rally. I might have destroyed some of your dreams, but there is good news. This here is what I consider. And by the way, look at this chart. Look at this chart. Is this something you want to short or to long? Again, I'm not gonna share. I'm gonna sell you dreams. I just share my own observations. Look at this chart. Let's go to the weekly, and then you tell me: is this something you want to short or long? If you could. Is this something you want to short or to long? I know there's a lag, so I'm going to wait a few seconds. Look at this chart. Look how many times it tapped into this so-called resistance zone. Here, 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 consolidation, very good breakout. This is absolutely not something you want to short. This is the pure dominance, as in it does not include stables, it does not include Ethereum. This is just Bitcoin against other altcoins. This is strength. You do not want to fade this strength. Absolutely not. Here, again, the same methodology. Bitcoin halving. What do we have here? 231 days, or you could 238 days. It doesn't matter. You got the range, right? It's just it might be a little bit guesswork, but it gives you like a little direction how long it takes before the before it will drop, or it and by the way, nothing is guaranteed. It might even not drop. Here again, if we apply like the same methodology, of course, because this appeared on the Bitcoin dominance chart, obviously it will also appear here. This was your bull altcoin rally here. Here. This here is where you want to trade and convert your Bitcoins or stables into altcoins. This had a duration of more or less 133, 135 days. It depends how you measure this. It was pretty short-lived. So what do I mean by that? It's pretty short-lived. I mean, when we get to see an altcoin rally, and if we're going to see a cycle high somewhere in September or October next year, do not expect that we're going to see a multi-month altcoin rally. Where's the chart? Do not expect, for the rest of the year that alts are going to pump. It's going to be very short-lived, maybe 2 months or 3 months. Nobody knows. But my best guess, my best educated guess is it's going to be a very short-lived altcoin rally. We are basically waiting 4 years long to benefit from a 3-month price action. And that's how you see it. That's how you want to see it. If we again add 238 days after the most recent halving, again, December, maybe the first month or the first few weeks of the next year, might be a very interesting period for what? For altcoins. And again, I do not believe we're going to see a very long period of altcoins pumping all the way to new highs. No, I rather believe that we're going to see um, altcoin ready like a pump for a few months, maybe 6 weeks, and then correction, and then after long consolidation of a few months, again a pump of 4, 5, 6 weeks, and then it could be very over. So again, I'm not here to destroy dreams. I'm just here sharing my honest observations. I am pretty heavy in Bitcoin because I believe there are not many bit altcoins that can really outperform Bitcoin this year. If your altcoins have outperformed Bitcoin, and I know there are a lot of memes, but besides the memes, then you did a really good job. Also, what I want to share is this. You can go to this website, treasuries.bitbo.io, and I want you to read this. Bitcoin holdings in publicly traded and private companies, ETFs, and countries. They are good for 2.6 million Bitcoins. You have any idea how much money this is? This is an incredible amount of money. We're talking here about $185 billion in the hands of companies, public and private, ETFs, and countries. I know some countries they what was the word again? Confiscated the bitcoins from other parties, just like Germany did. They confiscated, sold. I know U.S. did it the same, but there are also some countries they are really accumulating Bitcoin. Like one of them, we can see here, by the way, a list of all these countries. Um, with Salvador, we have here Bhutan. I think they have, not sure how they got their Bitcoin Ukraine, probably by donation. Most likely, UK confiscated also a lot of Bitcoins from, I don't know, criminals. But you got my point here, right? They might sell or they might not sell. But I'm pretty sure all these Bitcoins here, 2.6 million Bitcoins, which is good for 12.3% of the total supply, the max supply, will never, ever, never, ever rotate into altcoins. They will never buy your shitcoin. They will never buy any of your shitcoins. They will never rotate this into anything else besides Bitcoin or fiat, or they might want to hedge themselves and sell and de-risk. We don't know, but I'm pretty sure that they will never rotate this into anything. Maybe Ethereum, because Ethereum has also its own ETF. So with that said, the strength is still in Bitcoin, if you like it or not. And I know a lot of people they have this notion, this false notion, oh, Bitcoin doesn't make you rich, doesn't make you rich. Well, trading altcoins doesn't per se make you rich as well. I believe if it depends on your style, lifestyle, but if you have a certain lifestyle with kids and a wife and people are dependent on you, you just can't YOLO all the time. And having a good portion of Bitcoin in your portfolio acts as a very comfortable cushion when things are going south. Another thing I would love to share with you here, guys, is this. This is the breadth chart. What do we see here? This represents the amount of coins, mainly Binance USDT pairs, that are trading above their 200 MA. At the moment, only 10% of all the Binance USDT pairs are trading above the 200 MA. There's still a lot of weakness. You cannot expect a lot of good things of coins trading below the 200 MA. The same goes for the 50 MA. A lot of coins, the majority is trading below them, 23%. This is also quite concerning. 10% of all USDT Binance pairs are trading below the 20 MA, meaning there's a lot of weakness. If you're still very heavy in altcoins and were thinking to add more, personally, I would wait until you see more strength kicking in. I think by now the most hated chart at the moment is this one. This is a piece of shit, to be honest. Although sitting now on what I would call a support level, pretty significant, to be honest. This is a level of almost 2,000, 3,000 days. A close here below. Well, Bitcoin is, for example, declining. This will decline even more. Staying here below this purple zone, not a really good thing for Ethereum to be in, to be honest. This looks really shitty. Full disclosure, I have Ethereum in my portfolio because my premise start of the year and also last year was Ethereum is pretty safe. I was there a little bit wrong. I had some hope when Bitcoin was trading here. But this is just another shitcoin until proven otherwise. Ideally, we could see some kind of like a swing failure pattern and then a reclaim. That would be very interesting and bullish for Ethereum on the against Bitcoin. There's also Bitcoin USDT. So what do we see here? We see here actually a few things. We see here this massive macro ascending wedge. Retest, beautiful breakout, lovely to see. This is a failed rectangle pattern. If this would have played out to the upside, we would have seen Ethereum probably around almost 6K. But what it did that was, that's quite funny, it broke out to the downside. Surprised most of us, despite the ETF, even dumped on its own ETF. So this is like a very classical pattern. You just take the range low, the range high, that then you add it on the top of the rectangle. That's your target. If it goes to the side, this is your target. If it goes to the downside, it beautifully touched this level. This is a pretty good thing on the USDT pair, to be honest. It tapped here back into this multi-year support resistance level. Here again for the second time. Here we want to see what? We want to see Bitcoin back in this rectangle. Don't want per se to call it like a deviation. It's just ugly, to be honest. But I want to see Ethereum back into this range, consolidate maybe for a few weeks, months, before it attempts for a new breakout. If it breaks out from here again, my target would be around 6,000 if we round this up, 5,900, 5,800, which is how far from the previous all-time high, or from the all-time high. That would be 20%. So with that said, those who are having Ethereum, they should be happy with an all-time high, 20% above previous all-time high. It's pretty pathetic, to be honest. Perhaps I'm shitting too much on Ethereum. Maybe I should give up on Ethereum and then it goes up. What do you guys think? Should I give up on Ethereum? Because I know when I give up on Ethereum, it will go up. That 1,065 days is indeed a very important number. There's no guarantee that this will happen again, but definitely worthwhile to monitor this very closely. Now we have Coty. Someone asked me, okay, Coty, look for Coty. Let's look what Coty has been doing. Um, I haven't analyzed coach for a while, to be honest. Let me remove the drawings. What do we see here? We saw like a compression on the EMAs, but they are curling down, which is actually like price wise a sign of weakness. There are side below the 50 level, and then we have again. I'm not if because someone is asking me check this or check that. I'm not gonna sell you like a bullish thesis all the day. I will tell you what I'm seeing. If you agree or not, that's up to you. Um, that rather prefer to be very honest with my audience, not selling false hope. This here is a trader. It's still trading below the trailer. So for me to flip bullish, especially on the weekly, there needs to be a reclaim of let's say 13.8 cent. Let's go quickly to the daily. What do we see there? Um, without this, what do we see here? See this level here. Mm, and we see obvious downtrend. You cannot deny this. This is obviously downtrend. Let's go to the 12 hour, the 4 hour. Look, if you believe in Coty fundamentally, then I would say go for it. Price wise, at least, I want to see this trading above the 12-hour trailer, which sits this. Let me this on the 12 hour. It should be trading above the 10 cent for me to flip bullish. This is also not a level where I want to sell or short Coty, to be honest. Um, not worthwhile the risk. And if we zoom out, what was Coty doing actually back in? I think it was pretty strong here, 64%. I would be careful and waiting for reclaiming important key levels. If you're using the Burbicator Pro, definitely here. Otherwise, the horizontal, they pretty much align. You want to see a reclaim here. That would give me more confidence to open a position or a trade. Hope it helped a little bit, my friend 321. Okay, we have covered Bitcoin, high time frame, the monthly thing. The weekly looks amazing as well. If we were to close like this, the weekly is not closed yet. 2 days and 8 hours to go. A close like this, although this is a very long wick, could be seen as a rejection, but still, this would be then the second highest weekly close ever. The month just started. What's Bitcoin doing right now? I want to see Bitcoin November open. If it stays like that, this is your wick. And probably is going to engulf this price action here on the monthly. On the 4 hour, this is still my thesis. I will look for long if it wicks here into this box. If it breaks even more down, 66.2K, otherwise maybe even the October open. Ideally, we do not see this situation. Ideally, it stays just above this gray-blue box for a while. Again, for those who just tuned in, I'm pretty bullish on the Bitcoin dominance. Again, ask yourself, is this something you want to short or long? Is this something you want to buy or sell if you could? Imagine this was a coin. This was your favorite coin. You would go all in. I would go all in. I would never short here. This is sign of strength. And again, the dominance eventually will most likely drop, and those who are heavy in Bitcoin will have a very good position to position themselves into altcoins to accumulate more Bitcoin or more stables, and eventually we're gonna top out. We're gonna, altcoins will eventually, historically, they will outperform but Bitcoin, but this is not the case right now. This is absolutely not the case. For me to play safe, I want to sit out this entire period unless I see weakness in the dominance. By the way, those who just tuned in, this is a pure dominance, sits on 75%. You can use this formula, add it to your trading view. I'm going to share it here right now. Add this to your trading view. So how do you do this? Very easy. Go go to symbol search, enter this formula, do enter, and you will get to see this Bitcoin dominance. Nobody is talking about this one. I believe this is a pure dominance as it excludes Ethereum and stables. Any questions? Any questions, my friends? And meanwhile, what I will do is I'm gonna trade Bitcoin. Really, I have a pretty good win rate. It's easier to read than most of the altcoins. I'm very interested in the 1 hour and the 15 minute. I shared with the community on Discord my strategy. It's very simple. Or I want to buy when the Burbicator Pro is giving me a buy signal, which is U here, this U here. I want to get out of my scalps if it penetrates one of the filters. And that's how I'm trying to make, while Bitcoin is still not in price discovery. Of course, price discovery is not guaranteed, but that is my strategy for the next few weeks. Um, we need to do something, right? While we are waiting for an altcoin rally, just waiting is possible. But I rather try to benefit from the opportunities the market is giving us. Also, with the community, we've been trading quite a lot. We've been sharing a lot of trades, as you guys can see here. This is Doge shared by Resume. Someone shared Doge as well. When was it? 13th. Wait, the really long swing trade. So we basically smashed all the TPs. As you can guys see, we share a lot here. Yeah, this was Sol. Oh, this was really September. Let me go to the most recent ones. So Mudeng was shared, Near was shared, Solana was shared. Here quite recently, Doge was shared, Popcat was shared, TPN was hit, and we are trading here a lot of scalps, quick in, quick out. That's the way how we make money. You always want to lose small, and you want to let your winners run and cut your losers as soon as possible. Oh, by the way, I got a request, Tia. So this is Tia. There's some, I don't say FUT because it isn't really FUT, it is reality. There's going on. In this market condition, you just don't know how these unlocks will will manifest. We've seen previously big caps with their unlocks and still going up, but this is not really a bull market for altcoins. If 80 or 40% will be unlocked and seed investors are heavily in profit, not sure what their entry was, but percent below this level, um, they're heavily in profit, and they invested as seed investors with the intention to make profit. Likely, many of them they will sell. Um, Good times if it can hold this green area, but if Bitcoin tanks a little bit, as you know, they got their tokens and they're a little bit anxious. Probably they will sell, and if we see something like this, don't be surprised at all. Might be a good entry for Tia. We traded Tia, by the way, all the way from here to here, because we had a really good thesis for that, and we knew that like would happen, but it was still far away. But now I would be very, very cautious with trading Tia, even shorting Tia, really. But when it comes to looking for long setups, um, this is a mistake. There are way better charts out there showing strength, no unlocks, and trading Tia is just exposing yourself to unnecessary risk, especially in this market environment. I wouldn't want to take that risk. Let me see. Um, okay, let's do quickly FTM. FTM USDT. FTM. Honestly, this is on my watch list now. As you guys can see, this is green. Editing my green list. I actually like what I'm seeing. If it can hold this level, I'm happy to look for long. Not per se to build a position. Again, I'm pretty pessimistic when it comes to altcoins. I think they're gonna dump even more. But for like trading, when I trade, especially the 4 hour or the 12 hour, I trade really in isolation without too much thinking about the dominance, especially when doing on the lower time frame. Um, Nice swing failure pattern up. Honestly, this is not a really crazy level to look for longs. RSI not very promising. Let's see what the Fabricator Pro is telling us here. Right, is this? Oh, want to see. Always cross-checking my settings. Let me look how it looks on the 12 hour. As long as it can hold this gray level, very good. This trailer is quite far away. Ideally, we see another swing failure pattern, just like what happened here, and then looking for your longs. I don't see any like bullish divergence or something else that maybe only on the 1 hour, like a double divergence. What's the scalping strategies? What is it telling us here? No. Well, maybe even on the 50s, I would If I would have been trading this on the 15 minutes, I would. Waiting for that candle close and aiming for that point of control here. Reclaim here would be continuation. Then we have stamp. Stamp. Mm, what do we have here? A typical Qcoin coin. It's out there since March. So there's no other chart or exchange with more price action, historical price action. Honestly, I find this quite difficult to read. Mm. This is an entire downtrend, obviously. Starting from here, it is making higher highs, higher lows. Mm, I guess there's not a lot of this. Pretty much a low market cap coin. Stamp. Let me check. Mm, 27 million market cap. Yeah. So honestly, this trend was quite good. This was a high, but this is again like a lower high against that high. I would be a little bit cautious. If I see some nice rejection here in the purple area, that might be an interesting place to open a trade. But I mean, just on TA, I wouldn't, I do not want to trade this. Just very honest. I rather look for a chart that with more clear price action. If I would trade this, even on the 4-hour chart, I would expose myself to unnecessary risk. A while ago, where's the Discord? I shared in this trading psychology channel, how you actually can have like a higher win rate. And one of them is knowing when not to trade. You're actually edged out, or knowing when just to sit and do nothing and stop a little bit. The less you lose, the higher your win rate. I'm not taking every day a trade, not at all. I'm only taking a trade when a setup presents itself and it aligns with my, then I execute. Sometimes I don't execute at all because I just don't see anything, and I do not want to force a trade or an investment thesis because out of boredom. But again, if you have a like an FA rational thesis behind stamp, I'm not here to judge. If it is based purely on TA, I would be cautious. Hope you appreciate my honest observation. Graag gedaan, Chris B. Yeah, well, there's actually an inverse head and shoulder. Happened a while ago. Oh, wait. That's the wrong. Um, this is a classical textbook, even beautiful. Okay. Inverse head and shoulder. Suggests what? It suggests a reversal. If you go to, yeah, a little bit. I mean, this would be like what we call like a complex head and shoulder. So when you see in the head and shoulder where like the left shoulder is like with two tops, or the head is with two tops, you could consider this as a complex head and shoulder. I do not really play them, honestly. What I'm seeing, and context is more important, it broke out. It tested the support level. It tested again the support level here again. So this is in my book, this is just range bound. This is just indecision. You could say, okay, but hey, listen up, Jimmy. I'm seeing here this, and this is the double hat. So I'm anticipating a breakdown based on this. Could be, could be. But my interpretation often is, especially when changes like this, I would definitely check then also the Worlovsky. That's how you pronounce his name. Let me cross check. Um, yeah, Bulkovsky. So who's actually Bulkovsky? So he is someone who analyzed a lot of different chart patterns. Any chart pattern you can think of, he analyzed them. This, in my just another rectangle, and a rectangle that comes from a uptrend more often than not is a continuation pattern. Just like with Bitcoin here. One day, wait, I have already prepared something here. Where is it? Yeah, this is pretty okay. Look, this is a rectangle. This is, although you have like these fake outs, and a rectangle is known for its fake out, still, this is a rectangle. Um, a rectangle, when it comes from a uptrend, is what? More often than not, it's a continuation pattern. Yes, you got it right. Here again, beautiful rectangle. It can have fake outs, very normal. Even it makes like lower lows, lower highs. It doesn't matter. Range is a range. That's the context. Um, Everything else not very relevant. Um, see such a rectangle, which you like normal, like the classical way is okay. Go from the low, go to the high, and add this on top of it, and that's your target. Actually, there are actually different ways you can do this, but that's the most common way. Here as well, like you see, like these long wick. This was because of something happened with Japan, right? Like with they um, there was an interest. They adjusted their interest policy. If you would take like this low and this high, and you add it here, this will bring you to around like 3,000. That could be your TP, the breakout of this rectangle. Another way to do this is where is it? Just with the FIPS. Oh wait, it's not the FIP. Yeah, here. From the high to the low. And by the way, this FIP is based on log scale, because my chart is also log scale. So this is basically my target for a breakout. My target for the cycle high. This is just speculation, but honestly, who doesn't love speculation? Yeah, here. This is my target for the cycle high. 170, 180K. You might ask why, Jimmy? Why? Well, I can tell you why. If we apply the same thought process, let's go to the weekly chart, and we take this cycle high from 2017, you plot here your FIP, and you connect it here with that low. Where does it bring you? 1618 extension. This here marked basically the top. If we apply the same methodology, oh, damn it, I do it again. From the high to the low, where does it bring us? 175K. I'm not saying per se it will go there. Perhaps it could go even overshoot or never reach that level. But I know for a fact if it's going to reach that level, I'm extremely alert. Um, when things are going up and people are greedy, there's one question you need to ask yourself. You know what the question is? You know what the question is? When everything is going up, people are euphoric and happy. And I'm, by the way, recording a trading psychology course. You need to ask yourself who is left to sustain this trend. I'm not very worried about this. This is a typical area where people want to, where they could accumulate Bitcoin. I don't see a lot of euphoria and greed. If you see thing up, ask yourself who is left to sustain the trend. The same here. Who is left to sustain the trend? Everyone wants to become part of a trend. And if everyone is part of the trend, all the buyers have been absorbed. And if all buyers have been absorbed, um, that's often the end of the bull market. Okay, guys. Any other questions? Requests? Want to thank you all, you guys, especially those who were contributing and talking. Chris, Louis, Crypto Daddy, Chris123, Pat S, Goku, Zat, 321, Impetuous, even not sure how to pronounce his name. And we even have here the legendary Hono Rata. Sounds very Japanese. Okay, guys, let's call this a good live stream. Hope you enjoyed it. And by the way, do not forget to hit that like button. There's a like button. Hit that like button. Also, if you are not part of our community, of our Discord, there are a few ways how you can become part. One, you become a exclusive Nest Club member. This will give you a lot of perps, and it will come with a price tag, of course. There's another way. You can get our calls from our professional traders if you trade with us on Bybit, Binance, or Apex. I'm from the Netherlands. I cannot trade perps on Bybit anymore or Binance. However, I can trade perps on Apex. So those who are interested in trading in a decentralized way and trading perps, and you're from the Netherlands or any country where trading perps is forbidden, or you can only do that on shady exchanges, I highly endorse Apex. I'm very pleased with them. Also pleased with Binance, but they are not operating anymore in the Netherlands, as far as I know. And Bybit, a beautiful exchange. However, only spot trading is possible here in the Netherlands. Okay, guys, this was a great session. Also, you, Rick, thank you very much for the love. And again, hit that like button.